There's so many people with like uninsightful insights. They don't know what they think. And trying to get them to figure out what they think is usually the hardest part to getting people out the door. So it's like the people who have hit that 20, 30, 40, 50K, they know what they think. They just haven't thought a lot about how to organize it.
Well, they haven't done the work. This is the other big thing. We get tons of people that are like, what do I do? How do I start posting? Do the frickin' work and share it. Like, if you actually go back when Anthony and I were throwing stuff against the wall, we were doing work for free. No one's permission. We'd grab a startup. I think this is a shitty homepage. I'm going to rewrite it. And I would rewrite it and be like, hey, I rewrote this. Here's why I think it's better. And here's some things I learned along the way. That was us just doing the work. We were learning as we were going. And because you're giving it away for free, guess what? That company's like, whoa, these guys just rewrote our homepage, and they would steal parts of it. Or one of their competitors saw it and they're like, we should talk with this guy. Like, that was the beginning. Mm-hmm. But we were willing to show up every day. No one's permission. And so, like, that's the biggest unlock. You don't know what content to post? Pick your ideal. Like, you want to work for Nike on a campaign? Whose permission do you need? Like, they got a new shoe coming out. Go write an ad and post it and DM it to all the executives. Yep. That's where you start. And just do it over and over and over.
I was joking.
That's pretty much it.
You don't have to be crazy to do this work, but it helps.
It's very much helps.
It's the easiest. Like, what you're saying is so true. And I tell people all the time, it's like, just if you're not willing to do the work for free, you're probably not willing to do it like for a very long time if people were paying you. Like, you have to care enough. Not like follow your passion, care. But you have to really give a shit, because you're going to receive a lot of friction, a lot of resistance, and all the things. And to your point, to go out and get business and to try and start more conversations or create content about that thing. Like, you have to have that level of ambition in you to want to do that.
And to your point, Nick, you mentioned before, right, about like having an insight or a POV. Like, Rob had an insight from day one, and his was a lot more interesting than any insights I had, because I was very new to the space. I had a career in a completely different field for a very long time, and then came into tech at basically the bottom of the barrel. So, like, Rob's core insight, with another guy too on the same team at our last company, their insight was that B2B markets are incredibly fragmented, and you think that you can just market to this TAM, but you can't. Every individual little slice of it kind of needs their own tailored version of what you're saying to even matter. That insight is still kind of one of the core things that we've been saying for 3 years. And like, Rob did a post about it 2 days ago. And I was like, how crazy the slide deck you built for the internal agency. Like, it's effectively the same thing. And now you don't have to have the final insight. Other insights we uncovered along the way, which have become a core part of our POV, which weren't there at the beginning, are things like all the advice of lead with the benefit. Nobody cares about the features. Just talk about, start with why. All those constellation of ideas we think are like what sent B2B marketing astray and are like the core issue of B2B marketing. That was an insight we learned from doing the work and uncovered. Why is it that when I read 10 B2B websites, I can't figure out anything of what the companies do? Oh, it's because they all lead with the why, and they all sell the outcome and the benefit. And they, nobody wants a 1/4-inch drill. They want a 1/4-inch hole, the 10 different metaphors. You're not selling Mario going from here to here. You're selling him transforming into this, sell the transformation. Like, there's literally endless amounts of these good best practice marketing advices that resulted in thousands of companies that couldn't explain at all what they did. So like, that one we learned on the job. But to your point, you have to start with some insight. If you want to build an expertise-based business, like in the modern era, expertise comes from like, I have an insight, and I think that could be a sharp point of view that could get me into people's mind share, right? And again, it can evolve, it can change, but you do have to come up with something.
100%. Yeah.
A pattern match somewhere. I mean, I think that's a lot of your origin story is like, hey, we saw this thing. We saw something happening here. We started to sell. We started to build it. We didn't know exactly where it was going to take us or what the end goal was, but we knew this direction and this idea, and that's enough to set you off on to. I mean, look at that. Look where that one insight led to. But again, you got to have some pattern match somewhere.
Yeah. There's the opposite problem as well. Some people have too many insights and try to be a thought leader on all of them and solve all of them. And that's another end of the spectrum where people come to us and it's like, okay, but you can't be everything to everyone and have an opinion on everything marketing, Even if you do I'm not saying don't have opinions, but if you spread all those opinions around, no one's going to know what the hell you stand for.
Yeah, not being able to codify it so that you end up saying a lot of the same things over and over again is also a very big problem.